$2 million. Most people spend their entire lives chasing that number, dreaming that one day, if they just save enough, invest enough, sacrifice enough, they will finally cross that finish line and never have to worry about money again. But here is the question nobody is asking. What does life actually look like when you get there? Because I am going to show you something today that most financial advisors will not tell you. $2 million in retirement is not what you think it is. And depending on how you manage it, it could either set you free for the rest of your life or quietly run out faster than you ever imagined. I am Ron Invest, and on this channel, we break down the real numbers behind real financial decisions so you can build the life you actually want. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button right now and smash the like button if this kind of content helps you. Let us get into it. Let us start with the most important question. How much income does $2 million actually generate in retirement? Most people assume that having $2 million means they are set for life. But the truth is, the number itself means almost nothing without a strategy behind it. What matters is the withdrawal rate, and this is where most retirees make their first critical mistake. The most widely used rule in personal finance is the 4% rule. This rule states that you can safely withdraw 4% of your portfolio in the first year of retirement, then adjust for inflation each year after that. And statistically, your money should last at least 30 years. So, with a $2 million portfolio, 4% gives you $80,000 per year before taxes. That sounds like a lot, and for many people, it is more than enough. But let us break down what that number actually looks like in the real world. If you are retired and collecting Social Security, let us say you are receiving around $22,000 per year, which is close to the average benefit, your total annual income becomes roughly $102,000. After federal taxes, you are likely taking home somewhere between $85,000 and $90,000 annually, depending on your state and deductions. Now, is that enough? That depends entirely on where you live, how you live, and what you want retirement to actually feel like. Here is where it gets interesting. According to recent data, the average retired household in the United States spends approximately $57,000 per year. That means an $80,000 annual withdrawal from your portfolio alone already puts you well above average spending. Add Social Security on top of that, and you are living extremely comfortably by most standards. But, and this is a big but, average spending does not mean your spending. Because here is what people forget when they are dreaming about retirement. Your costs do not automatically go down just because you stopped working. Think about it. When you retire, you suddenly have more time. And more time means more travel, more dining out, more hobbies, more grandchildren you want to spoil, more home renovations you kept pushing off for years. Many retirees actually spend more in their early retirement years, what financial planners call the go-go years, than they ever did while they were working. Studies show that newly retired households between ages 65 and 74 can spend anywhere from $70,000 to over $100,000 per year, especially in the first 5 to 10 years of retirement. After that, spending tends to slow down in the slow-go years and eventually drops further in the no-go years as mobility decreases. So with your $2 million portfolio, the first decade is actually the most financially demanding. This is when you are healthiest, most active, and most likely to be spending aggressively on the life you worked so hard to build. Now let us talk about the biggest threat to your retirement that almost nobody talks about enough, and that is healthcare. If you retire before age 65, you are not yet eligible for Medicare. That means you need to cover your own health insurance, and private health insurance for a couple in their early 60s can easily run $1,500 to over $2,000 per month. That is $18,000 to $24,000 per year just on premiums. Add out-of-pocket costs, dental, vision, and prescription drugs, and healthcare alone could consume 30% of your retirement income. Even after Medicare kicks in at 65, the costs do not disappear. Medicare Part B premiums, supplemental Medigap policies, Part D for prescriptions, these all add up. Fidelity recently estimated that a 65-year-old couple retiring today should expect to spend approximately $315,000 on healthcare costs throughout retirement. That is $315,000 out of your $2 million portfolio, going entirely towards staying healthy. This is why asset allocation and investment strategy matter so much inside your retirement portfolio. A $2 million portfolio sitting entirely in a savings account earning 2% annually generates only $40,000 per year. Meanwhile, inflation, even at a modest 3%, is silently increasing the cost of everything you buy every single year. Over 20 years, what costs $100 today will cost $180. Your purchasing power erodes if your money is not working hard enough. The standard approach for a retirement portfolio is a diversified mix of stocks and bonds. A classic 60-40 split, 60% in equities and 40% in bonds, has historically provided both growth and stability. However, with people living longer than ever before, many financial planners now recommend keeping a higher equity allocation in early retirement to ensure the portfolio continues to grow and outpace inflation. Here is a scenario that illustrates the difference. Retiree A invests their $2 million in a conservative 30-70 split, 30% stocks, 70% bonds. Over 20 years, assuming average historical returns, their portfolio grows modestly, but struggles to keep up with inflation, particularly through high inflation periods like we saw in 2022. Retiree B keeps a 60-40 split. Yes, they experience more volatility. Their portfolio dips harder in market downturns. But over the same 20 years, their portfolio not only survives, it thrives. In many historical simulations, retiree B ends their 30-year retirement with more money than they started with. The lesson here is that playing it too safe can actually be just as dangerous as being too aggressive. Sequence of returns. Risk is one of the most underappreciated threats in retirement planning. If you retire right before a major market crash, like someone who retired in late 2007 or early 2020, and you are withdrawing money while your portfolio is down, you are selling shares at the worst possible time. The mathematical damage from that can be permanent and irreversible. This is why having a cash buffer, typically 1 to 2 years of expenses held in cash or short-term bonds, is a critical strategy for retirees. It gives you the ability to stop withdrawing from your equity portfolio during a market downturn and live off your cash buffer while the market recovers. It is one of the most powerful yet simple strategies for making your retirement portfolio last. Now, let us talk about taxes. Because a $2 million portfolio does not mean you keep every dollar you take out. Where your money is held matters enormously. If your $2 million is sitting in a traditional IRA or a 401k, every single dollar you withdraw is taxed as ordinary income. That means if you withdraw $80,000, you are paying federal income tax on all of it. At that income level, you are likely in the 22% federal bracket, meaning roughly $17,000 goes straight to the government. On the other hand, if a portion of your portfolio is in a Roth IRA, those withdrawals are completely tax-free in retirement. Zero taxes on every dollar. That is a massive advantage, which is exactly why Roth conversions during your working years or in the early years of retirement before Social Security kicks in can be one of the smartest tax moves you make. Additionally, once you turn 73, the IRS requires you to take required minimum distributions, or RMDs, from your traditional IRA and 401k accounts, whether you need the money or not. These mandatory withdrawals can push you into a higher tax bracket and even trigger higher Medicare premium surcharges. Strategic planning around RMDs, including the timing of Roth conversions, can save a retired couple tens of thousands of dollars over the course of their retirement. There is also the question of state taxes. 9 states currently have no income tax at all: Florida, Texas, Nevada, Washington, Wyoming, South Dakota, Alaska, Tennessee, and New Hampshire. If you are flexible about where you retire, relocating to a no-income tax state could save you thousands of dollars every single year. Over a 20-year retirement, that adds up to a very significant amount of money that stays in your portfolio instead of going to your state government. Now, let us put all of this together and paint a realistic picture of what $2 million in retirement can truly look like. Scenario 1. The comfortable retiree. You retire at age 65 with $2 million. Your home is paid off, you have no debt, and you collect $24,000 per year in Social Security. You withdraw $70,000 from your portfolio annually, just under 4%. You live in a moderate cost of living state, spend thoughtfully, travel once or twice a year, and enjoy your hobbies. Your total annual income is around $94,000. After taxes, you are living well, your portfolio continues to grow, and you are on track to leave a meaningful inheritance for your family. This scenario works. $2 million is genuinely life-changing here. Scenario 2, the high-cost retiree. You retire at 62 with $2 million in a high-cost city. Your mortgage is not quite paid off. You need private health insurance for 3 years before Medicare. You and your spouse love to travel internationally. Your annual spending runs around $115,000. You are withdrawing nearly 6% per year from your portfolio. At this rate, using historical models, you face a real risk of running out of money in your mid-80s. This is not a hypothetical. This is a real risk that catches people completely off guard. Scenario 3, the strategic retiree. You retire at 65 with $2 million spread across a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA, and a taxable brokerage account. You delay Social Security until age 70 to maximize your benefit, bumping it from $22,000 to nearly $38,000 per year. During those early years, you live off your taxable accounts and do strategic Roth conversions at low tax rates. When Social Security kicks in at 70, your guaranteed income covers most of your basic expenses, and your portfolio withdrawals are minimal. You have an inflation-adjusted cash buffer, a well-diversified equity-heavy portfolio, and a clear plan for RMDs. This person does not just survive retirement. They dominate it. The difference between these 3 scenarios is not the starting balance. They all start with $2 million. The difference is strategy, knowledge, planning. That is it. And here is the final piece that nobody talks about: the psychological side of drawing down your portfolio. For decades, your instinct has been to save, save, save. Watching that portfolio number go up has been the reward. Now suddenly, in retirement, you are supposed to spend it. And for many retirees, that mental shift is brutally hard. Studies consistently show that retirees underspend relative to what they can safely afford out of fear of running out. They deprive themselves of the very life they saved for because they cannot bring themselves to watch the number go down. Understanding your withdrawal strategy mathematically, knowing that your plan is built to last, is what gives you the permission to actually live. And that is what all of this planning is really for. Here is the bottom line: $2 million in retirement is genuinely powerful. But it is not a magic number that guarantees security on its own. It is a foundation. What you build on that foundation depends on your withdrawal rate, your investment allocation, your tax strategy, your healthcare plan, and your willingness to adapt as life changes around you. If you take nothing else away from this video, remember these 3 things. Number 1, the 4% rule is a guideline, not a guarantee. Adjust it to your real life, your real spending, and your real goals. Number 2, taxes and healthcare are your 2 biggest retirement expenses that people consistently underestimate. Plan for them aggressively and early. Number 3, strategy beats balance every single time. The person with a smart plan will always outlast the person with a bigger account and no direction. $2 million managed well can absolutely fund a rich, full, and financially free retirement. But managed poorly, or not managed at all, it can disappear faster than you ever thought possible. This is Ron Invest. If this video helped you see your retirement differently, please hit that like button. It helps this channel more than you know. And subscribe so you never miss the real numbers behind the decisions that shape your financial future. I will see you in the next one.